So we are going to have an interesting chat with Therapy Works because this is our Therapy Works segment. And with me this morning is Robyn Edwards. She's a speech language pathologist and director of Therapy Works. Good morning, Robyn.
Good morning,
Welcome back.
Carrie.
Always a pleasure having you here.
Thank you, thank you. It's cold in the
Yeah, I
studio
know,
today.
right? It's a little bit. I have the advantage of a jacket, but I
Yes.
also don't really feel cold very often.
I know, you're
I like
lucky
cold,
I'm
cold
shivering.
temperatures. I'll give you my jacket if you
No,
want.
it's okay. No.
All right,
No.
so we've been talking about the different aspects of autism, autism awareness, autism advocacy,
Yeah.
and today we are here. You are here to break down the signs and symptoms for us, for the different age groups. And so first off,
Yeah.
what are some of the signs and symptoms to look for in the average person? Well, it's maybe incorrect of me to say average because there are different places on the spectrum. But what are
Right.
some of the signs we could look for?
Yeah, so, well, first off, yes, this is month of April. We've been talking every week about autism, all the different aspects of it. And I just want to encourage anybody that's interested. We've compiled all the videos that we've done, that Therapy Works has done with TTT on our YouTube channel. You can search Therapy Works and on our Facebook page. So, go back, peruse any information that you might have missed one of the weeks, you know.
Yeah, definitely. To get like all the information that you and Sarah as well have shared, as well
Yeah.
as the other pathologists and
Exactly,
therapists
and
such.
therapists, yeah, because we've covered a range of topics, So going back to the signs and symptoms of autism, autism is characterized by difficulties in social communication and restricted or repetitive behaviors or interests,
Okay.
right? So social communication relates to things like eye contact, not eye contact like that,
Right.
that's weird, but checking in, looking at somebody, Um, in an infant, you can look at something like social smiling.
Okay.
So basically, a baby responds to your face. If you smile at a baby of about 3 months old, they should smile back.
Should.
Yeah.
I've had instances where
Yeah.
I smile at babies and
They've
and they
cried.
just turned away.
But it's especially to their parents, their family members. I mean, if a stranger looks at a baby, that's quite appropriate, you
Right.
know. But if a mom, you look at your 3-month-old, if you smile at them, they should smile back at you.
Right.
They should be able to reciprocate that. Things like not responding to your name. So we all know every child is a little hard of hearing sometimes, or they have what's it called, like selective hearing, where they choose to take you on or not.
Right.
But this is chronically not responding to their name. So carry, and you're not responding to it at all. Poor visual tracking. So again, in an infant, if you have something shiny and colorful, they should be interested in it and turn to look at it,
Right.
right? Lack of social babbling. So I don't know if you've seen these videos on Facebook. There was one just the other day with the baby that was whistling like the father. So the father's whistling and the baby's, making the lips trying to.
Right.
I mean, and this is an infant. This baby might have been a month old, But there are also the videos where you have the twins and they're
And they're having a full
they're
conversation.
full on talking to each other, making no sense, but
To us.
to us,
Right.
exactly. But they are communicating.
And
So
they're engaging in social activity.
that is exactly it.
Right.
That's that back and forth that we look for. That's the foundation of conversation. That's where conversation comes from.
Right.
I say something, you respond. You say something, I respond, And then the last point is fixation on unusual objects. So, I had a kid that loved straws and he had to have a straw in his hand all the time,
Okay.
So, yeah. So it's like they look at parts of the toy, but not the whole toy. So another example is I had a little girl come to me who loved trucks. She didn't actually love trucks. She loved the wheel.
Okay.
And so she would spin the wheel on the truck, right? So these are just some signs, some things that you can look for. Ultimately, though, if you are concerned as a parent, a grandmother, loved person, relative, if you are concerned, please check with your pediatrician. That's always the first step.
Right.
And your pediatrician will be able to guide you
As
to
what
other
the,
services
yeah,
that may be
services
needed.
and such. What are some of the tips you have for parents and guardians
Tips relating to
to the interaction and the upbringing of
Right.
children with autism?
So one of the biggest tips I think I can give right now is let's put the devices down. Kids definitely under a year old, but even under 3 years old, they don't need a screen in front of their face constantly. They just don't. If you are going to use a device I don't recommend using devices with kids under a year. If you are going to use one, make sure it's interactive. Make sure it's a game that you're playing with
Right.
them. Yeah?
Definitely.
Because I think parents think that these educational apps and these games, and they're great, and they have a purpose and a place. I mean, technology is part of our world. We can't get
Definitely.
away
We can't
from
get away
that.
from it. We can't run from it,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But we also must be mindful that we don't use it as digital babysitters.
Exactly.
Instead of paying personal attention to
Yeah.
your young ones, because they take social cues and the like from the parents.
Definitely.
Robyn Edwards, I want to thank you so much for being here this
Yeah.
morning to share with us these different things, the signs, the symptoms, and other information as pertains to autism and autism awareness.
Yeah.
And of course, you'll be back with us next week to speak about
Yes.
some more interesting topics in the realm of Therapy Works.
Yes, I think we're talking about how to manage behaviors next week. So
All right, yeah, definitely an interesting conversation.
definitely.